So I gave the introduction in the group already about the environment. You can go back and listen to that voice note. We'll move on with the effects of human activities. So you have different human activities that we do on a daily basis, and it has effects on the environment. So when cutting down trees, it can lead to deforestation, and as a result, soil degradation. Right? Soil degradation means that the actual the actual value or the quality of the soil begins to decrease. Right? Okay. So you have many forms of pollution. As I said, when cutting down trees, it can lead to very harmful effects on the environment and pollution, right? It can cause fertile land to reduce its quality, and so you won't have that amount of crop yield, and by extension food production. So that means that food production would go down, right? Deforestation of mangroves contributes to decline in fishes, right? So you won't be able to catch as much fish as you would on a normal day because of the amount of fishes that are being affected by deforestation of mangroves. Erosion of cays, loss of habitat for many coastal sea animals such as seabird and turtles are they are destroyed because of the deforestation. Alright, you have other effects such as desertification, the formation of bare, dry, infertile land in an area which originally had fertile land, right? So fertile land, of course, means land that is good for planting, land that is able to grow good food. So because you move the trees, and you can cause the land to become unfertile or infertile. Sorry. So many of these activities can lead, even though you have many companies doing them and they are making money, but they have long-term effects on human. Right. Another effect is soil exhaustion, which occurs when the nutrients in the soil is removed, right? A lot of soil nutrients come from humus, right? And without plants, humus foundation is reduced. So that means you won't have enough nutrients for other plants to grow. Another thing is water pollution. And this occurs when the topsoil, pesticides, or other contamination is let loose in the rivers and in other important water bodies that is used for living. So many people still today use water from the river to wash, and some people use water from springs to drink. What if these are affected by pesticides, right? And soil usually ends up in the water due to excessive rains, right? And when there's excessive rain, you have water moving from you have pesticides, sorry, moving from soil land and moving from farmland into the rivers and into the streams, and this affects water pollution. So pesticides can be good and pesticides can also be bad, right? Pesticides are good in the fact that it protects the crop from insects, but it is bad because when there are excessive rains, it can affect the water. Other activities include erosion. So this is the movement of soil particles down slopes by water. So heavy rains also destroy roadways, buildings, and natural environment. This erosion is most of the times is caused by deforestation, right? Because the soil has nothing to keep it together. So when we cut down the trees and remove the trees, the soil has no form of substance to hold it together. So therefore, it easily slopes into the water. It easily gets into the water, right? Loss of habitat and biodiversity. So when a company wants to build a new branch, they go and they cut down the plants or they cut down the trees from that area to get that space. But a lot of animals and a lot of different different species are affected by this. They're affected by this, right? And this is not good for the environment, right? One of the most harmful effects of human activity is climate change, and that one is left here for a reason, because it is one of the greatest problems that we're trying to face right now as scientists, because the temperature of the earth is increasing, and it is very troubling, because it leads to warmer days, warmer nights. The place is getting hotter. You have the icebergs melting, which lead to a rise in sea level. So that is very important that we fix this. So it is caused by human activities. All right, so let's go to materials. So everything around us is made from one or more materials. Life would be impossible without materials. Why? Simply because they make up everything in the world. They make up everything. So materials can be a substance or a mixture. It can be living or non-living. So that would entail solid, liquid, or gas. And I'm going to ask you to just I'm going to send an activity to for you to just list out, look around the house and find 3 solids and 3 liquids. Like juice, water, and stuff like that. Simple activity. So properties in science means the characteristics of materials that make it special. So you have different materials have different properties which make it very special, and it cause to behave differently from other materials. So solids will never behave like gas. Why? Because solid has different properties, right? Solid has different. I don't want to go too deep, but solids have different temperature. The solids would different solids have different melting temperatures. They melt at different temperatures. So even liquids, right? Liquids evaporate at different temperature. So if you place alcohol on your hand, it will evaporate. But if you place water on your hand, it will take a longer time to evaporate. That's basically what I'm trying to say, right? So some major properties of materials include absorbency, right? How well is it able? How well is it? How well is it at absorbing things? For example, a piece of wood versus a sponge. Magnetism, how does it react in a magnetic field? If you have a magnet here and you place the material beside it, is it going to pull it, or is it that nothing is going to happen? Transparency, can you see in the material? Flexibility, are you able to bend it? Elasticity, is it able to stretch? Waterproof, meaning is if you place it in water, will it be the same as if you didn't place it in water? Metallic, meaning if it portrays normal properties of a metal, being shiny and so forth, being able to conduct electricity, right? Hard. You don't need to necessarily memorize these. You just need to be able to identify them as properties of materials. Reflective. When light shines on it, does the light shine off back? Rough. When you place a hand on it, how does it feel? Does it feel soft? Does it feel smooth, or does it feel rough? Um, and hot and cold, of course.